Okay, for this, I'm going to show you how to make groups. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure, see how you have all that stuff kind of floating? If you want to take that and stick it to the top, then you go over here and you click on, yeah, that button right there. So now that the navigation, all the tools are on the top now. So now when I go to edit a block, I don't have that floating in my way. All right, so I'm opening up the outliner thing here on the left, and I'm choosing a color, right? So I go over here, and now I can choose what I want. So if I do these two colors, see how they're separate, right? Because I'm choosing two different blocks, and the blocks have a little bit of space between them. If I want to not have that, I'm going to hold Shift. I'm going to choose both of them, and I'm going to press my group, my little group button. And now when I go to change the background, they're a group. So groups are very important because you can control the different aspects kind of more together as a group. So they're actually incredibly useful. So if you go over here, you can see they're now in a group, but here they are separate. You can see the paragraph. I'm going to add a paragraph now on the bottom of this. Right? I'm actually going to, yeah, so I'm going to add a spacer actually. So this is how you're going to have a space between things. You can drag and drop that. So now I have a space between those two things within my groups. Now the spacer is now in my group. You can make a spacer smaller or larger, whatever you want to do. You go to the more global style. You can get rid of the padding. Right? The padding is the amount of kind of space around it. So I don't really need a spacer in there because I could just change the padding for the other ones. Because now it's in a block. I can do the padding. Right? Now I'm going to add something else. Let's see, what should I add? I'm going to be adding an image. Right, there are many ways to do it. I can add it right from there, or I can add it over here. I can scroll down and check all the different blocks I want to do. I'm going to do a separator. So here's the separator. This is when you want to have like a line that goes across all the way over. I go over here, and I'm going to edit that block, the block editor. And I can make it full size. I can even go over here and change the color if I change its color if I want. So that's how you're going to kind of add that thing. I can also put that right up in the middle of my block if I wanted to. Because you can put things in and out of blocks. Once you make a block of things, you can add and subtract from it. All right, now I'm going to add a column. I'm going to add some columns, make them a little interesting. I got here, column there, column there, all lined up. So say I want to put into this first column, this group, I can actually drag and drop the group right into the column. So now I have that separator bar in front, and then I have one of my columns now has some text. Again, I can change the padding. I can make it so that there's space around it, right? Just kind of play around with it and see what that's going to look. You can add a border. Because now, again, because it's a group, inside that column is a thing. I'm actually editing the column. All right. So now in the between these, I'm going to add an image. Right? I'm going to do it for my media library. There's a picture I have in my library. I'm going to add that. So now I have a picture inside the group, inside the column. This is how you're going to get more interesting layouts as you're going along. And there it is. That's a preview of what I've made so far. All right, so the heading didn't get in there because I have to actually type something in there. So I'm going to type that. That's a heading, my heading block. I'm going to reload it, and there it is. So that's a great way to make your websites a little more dynamic.